Brother and lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Gonna be diving into the latest news around Arsenal Football Club. We have placed a 60 million euro bid for Mykhaylo Mudryk, according to Di Natale. And the reaction from Fabrizio Romano is what is very interesting, because it doesn't say that Arsenal have actually bid, but it says they are working on it, and probably come January, that deal will be over the line. But of course, 90 Min have also reported that Tielemans is likely to end up at the Emirates Stadium in January. They're saying Arsenal will bid for Tielemans and Danilo. They want to complete the midfield duo by the winter window. So I'm going to be diving into all that, discussing that much in this video. Hit the like button for me and also subscribe to the channel as well. Let's get this video to 300 likes. Now, to start off the main story, of course, it has been reported by Di Natale that Arsenal have made an official offer of around 60 million euros to sign Mykhaylo Mudryk in January. But according to Fabrizio Romano, he says there is no bid lodged into Shakhtar Donetsk, and at the moment they can acknowledge that there is no bid on their table right about now. Now, I want to look at this in two ways. First and foremost, the official bid that has actually been reported. Arsenal have been working on this deal since August, according to Fabrizio Romano, and probably, although Shakhtar Donetsk are still denying, they're still living in denial that we've actually not made a bid. In my opinion, an offer from Arsenal is already there, because according to Romano here, you can see, says Arsenal have been working on this deal since August. Want to watch until 2023. Arsenal are still interested, making contacts since August, but still no official bid. So what I think here, guys, is Arsenal have really made an official offer, probably not one where they have told Shakhtar Donetsk we're going to be paying 60 million euros, but one where we've told them we want the player, we want to sign him in January, and if you can give him to us in January, we would be very, very glad. So Shakhtar have come out and said we do not recognize any bids on our table right now, but they have not also said we are not selling. There, Romano, in his words, he doesn't say that Shakhtar do not want to sell. He doesn't say that Shakhtar are not interested in selling. Actually, Romano says that Shakhtar want more than the rumored 50/60 million euros to sell him come January. So what do you think? Is it a deal that will happen in January? In my opinion, I've already told you he's not in the World Cup. First and foremost, so November, December, that is time to work on this deal and get it done off the line. But also, Shakhtar Donetsk are out of the UEFA Champions League, and that is a massive boost for Arsenal. That's a massive boost for all clubs interested in this deal. I don't think Shakhtar will be again hiding anymore behind that window, behind that curtain. We are in the UEFA Champions League. We want to go far with our top talents. But it's really, really done well this campaign. I think there's so many clubs eyeing him. We've talked about the likes of Real Madrid, Manchester City, and a few other clubs that are really, really on the neck of Shakhtar Donetsk. But I still think Arsenal can really pull this one off. I still feel in the end, if we get the money they want, if we walk in with the terms that are favorable for Shakhtar Donetsk and the player as well, we will actually win this race. There's so many reasons why Mykhaylo Mudryk should sign for Arsenal. I know many people have been asking that question. Why would he decide to sign for Arsenal over Madrid, over Manchester City, Barcelona, and all these other clubs interested, including Bayern Munich, who I think are really, really potential threats. But when you talk about Arsenal right now, you're talking about heavy investment, you're talking about the future, you're talking about a group of players that are actually identified with Mykhaylo Mudryk, but also talking about an opportunity for Mykhaylo Mudryk to win a trophy with a group of players, with a team that is actually going to be taking it as special. I think if you went to Manchester City right now and won the Premier League, the feeling stays the same. You're champion, you've won it, but it's not as special as winning it at a club like Liverpool, at a club like Arsenal, at a club like Man United, or at a club like probably Newcastle in the coming years, clubs that do have that scarcity when it comes to winning the Premier League over the last decade or over the last 2 decades, clubs that do have that real meaning and real sense in the word of it, that winning a trophy, winning the Premier League actually really, really matters. So let's wait and see what is going to happen. The reports are from Marco Di Natale that 60 million euros on the table for Shakhtar Donetsk from Arsenal official offer, but Romano says no, not yet. We are not yet at that stage. They're monitoring. They're talking to the representatives of the player. Contacts are ongoing, but it is not yet done. So we're still waiting for that, guys. We're still waiting for that breakthrough point. I'm going to be keeping you posted with whatever happens on and around this deal. Now, the other big story that I really love to talk about, and I really loved when I saw it, is coming in from 90 Min, and they're actually claiming that Arsenal is interested in signing a midfield duo of Yuri Tielemans and Danilo in January. Now, I've been looking at a couple of reports. Josh Kroenke is speaking himself. He has said in January, we want to strengthen this team. Currently, all the board members are really, really happy with what Arsenal have done. Apparently, Edu told them by 2022-2023, Arsenal should be a very strong side, competing and trying to, show the whole world what we've been, trying to say, be excited, and what we've been trying to say, that we are building a strong army ever since we built the Emirates Stadium. So Edu's project has to explode starting 2022-2023. Now, there was a little bit of disbelief in the board members, also in the fan base as well, that Mikel Arteta was the right man to take this project in front, to take this project in the future. But finally, he has actually done it. So Josh Kroenke is willing to invest more money in Arsenal, and we are going to be very, very active in January. So that poses the question, in which areas are we going to strengthen and which players do we particularly want? So let's start off with Yuri Tielemans. Like I said yesterday, if anything pops up, I will be the first person to let you know. I will be the first person to talk about it. So first and foremost, Yuri Tielemans. Yesterday, there was nothing. And today, according to 90 Min, a bid from Arsenal is expected for Yuri Tielemans. At this point in time, 90 Min quote that Arsenal feel they'll get this deal done either in the summer or right in January. But look, this one is a very, very tricky one. I won't be very, very convinced that we can get it done. Leicester City are on the line of probably, getting into that relegation mix. They want to make themselves very, very safe. They want to be clear. And in my opinion, they need their best talents. They need their best players. Arsenal as well need world-class players. We also need the likes of Yuri Tielemans. But the question is, do Leicester City feel they need him more, or they feel they can survive without him? Now, again, that depends on the amount of business they will do in January. They were looking at players like Okan Kokun in the summer. Can they get those deals done? And if they can, then probably Yuri Tielemans is one to do. But the positive side of things is that Arsenal are trying to get this one done, guys. Arsenal are trying to sign Yuri Tielemans. We are confident that we'll get it done either in January or even in the summer. 15 million pounds for me should do the deal in January. Anything more than that, I don't see Arsenal pay that. I think Arsenal will be willing and happy to wait until the summer runs down. Until the season runs down. We walk into the summer and get a player, priceless Yuri Tielemans, for free. We've already seen what he's done in the last 1 month. Those crackers, that bit of football, and I think he's actually improved on his, ability to fight for the ball, ability to keep the ball as well, but also that final pass, that final touch. It just reminds me of players like Frankie de Jong. Probably de Jong is a little bit better in my opinion, in my eyes. But when you look at Yuri Tielemans and what he can do, the technical ability of him as a footballer, he's massively, massively underrated by many Premier League viewers and content creators as well. So Graham Bailey says at the moment, expect a bid for Yuri Tielemans. Probably Xhaka is there, but Arsenal wants someone to cover in those areas. Mikel Arteta has already said the squad is very, very thin and short. So probably to work on that, to try to work on such problems. Like some Mohamed Elneny are back, but now we are looking at we are looking at the squad in terms of quality. Remember, next year we have the round of 16 waiting for us in the Europa League, but then you also have the FA Cup. You have the ongoing pressure and competition for the Premier League. For us to withstand all that, a player like Yuri Tielemans, in my opinion, would be a very, very good buy. Now, Graham Bailey, again, according to 90 Min, Arsenal also trying to sign Brazilian midfielder Danilo. This one is not going to come without competition. Yuri Tielemans in January probably comes with less competition, but Danilo does not. So many clubs are interested in him. They wanted to buy him last summer. Arsenal, Man United, Real Madrid, and you can see that kind of trend where Real Madrid really want to get these Brazilian talents before they explode, before they become the big things, the likes of Vinicius Junior, the likes of Rodrigo, and I really, really do appreciate them for the initiative and amount of work they've done. So with Danilo, we've followed him for some time, and I want to quote Fabrizio Romano here, who says that currently there are so many clubs interested, but Arsenal is one club to keep your eyes on when it comes to the Danilo deal. So can we get it done in January? They said in the summer they never wanted to do deals and do that. We know Brazilian players do move in January. The January transfer window is one that really doesn't affect them, those teams negatively. They are happy to let their players go. We've seen so many players move in January, especially from the South American market. But I think my concern with Danilo here is if we get Yuri Tielemans and Danilo, right? Then both of them in January. I think the first question is, can we get both of them in January? And if we get both of them in January, are we going to offload the likes of Albert Sambilakonga? Probably. Eventually, are we going to offload the likes of Mohamed Elneny in January as well? But look, this midfield duo for me would be a very wonderful very, very wonderful addition. Danilo is a very, very talented young Brazilian. Probably is not going to come and pick up right away. You never know what's going to happen. But just like the likes of Moises Caicedo were scouted from that market, from that South American market, they come into the Premier League. They're willing to fight, and that's what I love about these South American players. They're willing to fight. They're willing to show that resilience, and they're really talented. No one can say Moises Caicedo is not talented. Actually, I would say this: if we don't get Danilo and we can't get Moises Caicedo from Brighton, the difference is the similarity. This guy is really, really now Premier League proven. He's done it at Brighton. Probably they want to keep him after losing a couple of key players in the summer. Maybe they want to keep him, but you look at Moises Caicedo right now for me as one of the best defensive midfielders, up there with the likes of Bruno Guimaraes in the Premier League. So Arsenal right now, we are working on Danilo, we are working on Yuri Tielemans and Mykhaylo Mudryk. I would say be excited because this is going to be our market. And I'm going to say that strongly. This is going to be our market. And it ought to be. If Arsenal are really looking at winning anything, Arsenal looking to compete at any stage next year, because things are really going to turn around. Clubs are going to have some rest. Clubs are going to have some time to reset, do the team talk, and just try to understand where did we get wrong? Probably when Arsenal beat us 4-1, 3-0, 3-1 in the first half of the season. Where did we go wrong? And in the second half, it's going to be very different. We're going to play teams that actually have had some time to rest, think, and reset. But also, we're going to be playing teams that have strengthened in January as well and rested enough. So it's going to take a little bit more initiative for us to beat these teams, get the better of them, and probably stay on top of the table as long as we can. Currently, if we win each and every game, we will be equaling Manchester City's tally of 100 points in a campaign. How I would love to do that. Look, there's so many records here that cannot be easily broken. For example, Manchester United's United's winning streak of the Premier League. I think how many 12 times or 13 times. Probably that cannot be easily broken. But the tally points, 100 points, that is easily broken. I think we can break that. Things like the highest number of points you have got, the highest number of goals you have scored in a single campaign. Those ones can be broken. The only thing that cannot be broken is the unbeaten run, because Arsenal as well cannot break it. this campaign, we have already lost the game. So in terms of transfers, guys, that is what is actually happening. I'm going to do a video about Facundo Torres. I'm still raging about Enrique leaving out my key players in the Spanish squad. So probably I might do a video about that and generally about the World Cup, what you should expect, which teams to watch, and who's gonna win it. Because I think Spain are going to have to work harder than I expected. I thought the difference would be in picking the squad. The likes of Lodri probably making it to the squad. Lodri has not made it. Balde has not made it to the Spanish squad. I'm really, really short of words for the World Cup. I don't think I'm even going to be involved that much. I mightn't actually watch it, not because of the Qatar saga and all that. I don't have any problems with Qatar, by the way, surprisingly. But I'm just disappointed with the squads. And maybe that also comes down to the injuries and the number of games clubs have played prior to the World Cup, the injuries that we are actually facing and all that. But enjoy the World Cup. We're going to be doing previews for the Wolverhampton Wanderers game. That's the last game we're going to be playing before the Qatar World Cup, apparently. And then, of course, we will have to dive into the deals. So November, December, much of the deals will be discussed. Football will be back on the 27th of December, actually 26th of December, Boxing Day, as Arsenal resume our title. It's not a title defending charge. I think it's a title seeking charge. So if we can keep on winning, you never know. We could break Manchester City's streak in terms of winning the title. And I'll see you soon.